So that brings us to the last pole. And now, once we've got to the last pole, we're going to cover our teepee. So Herman, I'm going to have you work with these two young ladies to lash our teepee and lift our lifting pole. So this pole here is called the lifting pole. So you see the description of the lifting pole there, where the 13 poles we have up right now represent the 13 moons, but our lifting pole symbolizes the lift of reaching balance.
Steer which side?
Yep.
Let's do it this way. It's such a small. You see what I'm doing? Just kind of bring it in here like this, fold it in here. Like make sure you make sure you guys when you end up over here, you end up with like this. Then you fold your teepee right. Okay.
So that's actually how you would do like a full size as well.
The top moving into.
Yeah. And because she's by herself over there. But each and every peg that you got here, you're gonna hold it, and that's the way to roll it up when you put it away. And your 16 footers, your 18 footers, your 10 footers. Okay. These little guys sometimes you say, I'll just go up to here. Yeah. It's so hard to work with. All right. Yeah. Like anything you do, anything small, it's hard to work with. When I when I make drums, it's the same thing. I don't like looking at 10-inch drums. It's too small. So once it's done like this, we're going to put it down here. Okay. What I do is I won't put it right to the end. I usually leave about 4 inches.
Okay.
Okay. Now tighten your teepee up right up to the top. Tighten the teepee. Pull it. Okay. Now fasten it down there.
Okay.
Okay, once you fasten it down there like this, you got it crisscross back down there. Now, bring this flap over here.
Just one.
Oh no, that's the wrong one. Right here. Okay. This one should have a bigger thumb. Once you do this, like this, what I do is I'll wrap it around here. I'll bring this tongue over here so it never slides. Okay, and then you just tie it. Pull this tight there because it's got a short tongue. So when it's got a long tongue, what you do is just flap it over. Then it never slides on the pole because your poles are all tapered, right? And some people like to have teepee poles nice and clean, and some of them varnish them so they get into being sticky. Okay, so when we stand it up, when you want to stand it up, what I'm going to do is I hold it up here, you bring it up here. You bring it to me. Two of you will bring it up to me. If it's a 16-foot teepee, you'll bring it up all the way to me. Now we're going to grab it and we're going to pack it over there, okay? So we pack it over here. Something like that. You grab the stand over here. You grab the stand over here. You set that down right in there. Okay, unroll it. I got it.
Video. Because they did it in Crete, like a video, and then I did a whole translation in English. And then when I was translating it, and then the literal was there. A lot of the stuff was Beatles. They just simplified.
Yeah.
14 pegs. To have 14 pegs. So what happens is, years ago, they took the smallest person and put him on the shoulder.
Oh yeah. Oh, other way.
Okay? That's what they did.
Okay.
So because we never had ladders, right?
No. So Sarah would go on their shoulder.
So there'll always be the smallest person.
Or they simplified.
So when he's translating,
So here there should have been 14 pegs. There's 14 pegs. There's all meanings, all the pegs also.
The visual.
Like this is the one that closes the flap. This is the one that, how would you say it? You gathered all your knowledge and everything. Now you got it tight. All right.
all right. So now we see with that lifting pole, it's supposed to symbolize balance. So once in life we've reached balance, after we've gone through all these stages, our elders teach us that we've reached balance so that everything is housed. Our entire being is now housed within Mikwap. And it represents, this is a person. This is you. And it represents Isinyu, person. And all of those teachings we gain through life are inside Mikwap. And so right now this is Isinyu. So that you remember the story of Wisakichak when the Tipi was dancing. When that story was told to me, it was when I was learning about the Tipi teachings, and that elder said, remember when I told you the story of Wisakichak and Mikwap? At that time, Tipis were looked at as beings, as living, and they actually moved. That's how alive they were. They were able to walk and follow their families. But of course, along came Wisakichak and had to be nosy. lost that strength from us. But it reminds us that Mikwap is alive. It's Isinyu. It's a person. And they're right, because if we just look inside of that, all of those teachings, the 13 representation of the 13 moons, each one with a teaching, those are all the things we learn throughout life. And the covering is finding that balance so that everything is within that Mikwap, within that Tipi. So this is when we learn to self-regulate, because with our control flaps, practically in the Tipi, they control the amount of heat, the amount of smoke that we have in the Tipi, practically. However, when we're looking at it as a representation of self, we're looking at viewing what's inside the Tipi as energy. So just like in a Tipi, we have heat and smoke. Within ourselves, we have energy. Everything we have depends on energy. Good energy, bad energy, sad energy, mad energy, but it's all energy. Emotions, all of that is energy. So at this point with the control flaps, what our elders tell us is, especially throughout adulthood, our control flaps are wide open because we are just sharing energy, giving, sharing love, sharing teachings, sharing physical strength, sharing money, sharing bingo cards. But we're just sharing. Our control flaps are open. We're sharing love with our children and grandchildren. But just like a fire, if we continue to let a fire burn without feeding it, what's going to happen? That fire gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and finally that fire will just go out. We are taught that our inner energy, or our fire inside our tipi, we need to be careful and regulate it. So at times when the fire is big and we have a lot of love and a lot of us to give out, then our tipi flaps are open and we're giving. But when we start to feel we're running out of energy, we're running out of love, we're running low on energy, running low on emotions, we need to close and start to focus on us again until that energy builds up within us. So if we were in a teepee, if the fire started to go down, I would close the flaps until it warms up and the heat gets built up in there again. And then once it's built up, that's when I'd open those flaps and start giving out love, giving out affection, giving out knowledge, giving out strength, until I start to feel run down. And they say at any stage, you need to know how to operate those control flaps. Close them when you feel drained and start to focus on building your energy inside. Because if you don't, it's like a fire. If you don't feed that fire and put another log in there, it's going to go out. And once it goes out, us with energy, once our energy is gone, it is gone. Like it is gone. We can't get it back. So we need to learn how to keep that fire regulated by not giving ourselves out 100% and not letting ourselves come to the point where our fire is out. Because what that means is we've reached a point of no return where we can't go back and build within ourselves self-love, self-reflection, cleanliness. And we see this happen to people where they're shellless beings. They might be alive and breathing and walking, but they have no love. They have nothing good to give out to anyone. We might call them grouchy old people or think that they're just... That's somebody who hasn't self-regulated. That's somebody who hasn't had that ability to close off and let their energy build up. They've given everything they could give to the point where they no longer can close off and build that within themselves. And that's what our elders call them, is they're walking, well, they call it but in Cree, that's what they call them, is they're dead walking, because they're gone. Their spirit is gone. They have no love because they gave it all away. Everything they had is gone. And they say those are the people who would never gain that ability to close off and rebuild their energy and focus on themselves and build it up and then open and then give out when your energy is high. But it is key to be able to close off and take that time to yourself, that time to work on you. That's when we hear people say, work on you. It's not selfish. It's you protecting yourself. It's you taking care of yourself. Absolutely not selfish. Go work on you. Build up your energy. Once your energy is high enough, you might open those flaps a little to help somebody or help close friends, and then maybe close again, build your energy. You need to know how to regulate to when you can share fully or to when you shouldn't share at all and focus on you and build that fire, feed that fire again. But always control your mikwap and take care. Because again, remember, this is you. This is you. All of the teachings you have and that fire that's in there is vital. So that's the Tipi teachings. And how our elders try and represent mikwap, which we're told, well, we translate it as home. But now we just say mikwap and we think it means tipi. No, mikwap was home. In Old Cree, we're told that mikwap was, like I said, it was an actual person. It was Aisinyu. So originally it meant a person. So that's the teachings that they're trying to get us back to, is to understanding that there's much more than a teepee than just a shelter. So that is the teepee teachings as it was taught to me. So like I said, with everything on here, I teach it exactly as it was taught to me. I'm not going to change it, because if I change it, I'm not honoring the elders that taught me them. So I will not change it. Does that mean I'm so stuck on that teaching that if somebody has other teachings, I'm not going to listen? Absolutely not. I love hearing about other teachings, about Guta and her experiences, Herman and everything he has to share about how he grew up with the teepee and the teachings that he was given. Love it, love it. But the way I was told to teach them, I'll teach it in that manner probably until I'm in that last stage of my teepee.